My name is Emily, and last weekend I decided to do some renovations in my apartment, specifically in the kitchen. After taking out almost all the furniture, I cleaned up a bit and immediately started looking for someone to do the renovation. In front of me lay a bunch of ads, but one caught my attention almost immediately. Although I put it aside at first, I eventually came back to it. Calling the number listed, I heard a pleasant young voice on the other end. The guy offered a reasonable price and agreed to come the next morning. I even got up early, excited at the prospect of finally renovating my kitchen and perhaps finding a new companion. Since my divorce 2 years ago, I'd been living alone. My ex-husband, Jake, wanted kids, and when it turned out I couldn't get pregnant, he found someone else. It was a painful time for me, and after the breakup, I felt lost and devastated. Now, at 35, I was trying to find peace in my life, trying to focus on myself and enjoy the little things. When Noah, the repairman, arrived, the doorbell rang, and when I opened the door, he dumped a bunch of tools right into the hallway and asked me to show him the scope of work. Noah was young and handsome, and though I didn't want to admit it, I liked him immediately. There was something about his confident demeanor and the way his eyes sparkled when he smiled that drew me to him. I led him into the kitchen and then went to watch TV in the living room, trying to occupy myself and not think about him too much. I decided to spend my vacation at home for once, since I was often away on business trips and rarely had time to enjoy my apartment. I was looking for something romantic, nice and soothing to just relax, and somehow I came across a romantic scene in a movie. The sound was louder than the other channels, and the girl was making romantic noises, and the guy too. I frantically tried to turn the volume down, embarrassed at what was playing. Noah ran into the room with widened eyes, and I fiddled with the remote, trying to adjust the volume while realizing that my silk robe had pulled up, exposing more than I had intended. I saw surprise and a hint of something else in his eyes as he just stood there, nervously dropping the hammer to the floor and muttering something, then quickly withdrew. My heart was racing, and I felt a mixture of embarrassment and excitement. After I finally managed to turn off the TV, I sat down and thought about what had just happened. My face flushed, and I couldn't shake the feeling of arousal over the way Noah was looking at me. Noah then called out to me, asking for help. I joined him in the kitchen, where he was trying to remove a curtain rod. I climbed onto a stool to help him, grasped the ledge with my hands, and again my robe shifted. Noah's gaze met mine, and I could see he was agitated. I felt his hand touch my leg, and my body tingled. He didn't pull away, and neither did I. It had been so long since anyone had touched me like that. The feel of his warm hand on my skin sent goosebumps running through my body, and I realized that something was happening between us that neither of us could ignore. Letting go of the ledge, I climbed down, looked him straight in the eyes, and kissed him. The kiss was electric, and I felt the tension between us disappear as we gave ourselves over to the moment. I took Noah's hand and led him to my room, where he showed me what he could do. He was good, really good. There was a sense of urgency in the way we touched each other that had been building up since the moment we met. He put his arms around me afterward, and we hugged for what seemed like an eternity. It was soothing, and I felt a closeness I hadn't felt in a very long time. We lay cuddled together and talked about all sorts of things: favorite movies, dreams, and even fears. Maybe this is the beginning of something new, I thought, smiling to myself. Maybe this was what I needed, a fresh start with someone who would make me feel alive again. The next morning, I woke up to the noise Noah was making in the kitchen. He was making coffee, and the smell of it filled the apartment, making me smile. I got up, threw on my robe, and joined him. He greeted me with a warm smile, and for a moment I thought we were a couple, just enjoying a quiet morning together. We talked, sipping coffee, and I found myself opening up to him more than I had to anyone in years. He listened, really listened, and I could see he cared. It was strange how quickly I felt connected to him, but it felt right. When Noah was packing up his tools that day, I was sad. I didn't want him to leave. He must have noticed this because he paused and looked at me, his eyes soft. "I'll be back tomorrow to finish the job," he said with a smile, and my heart eased. This was probably just the beginning, and I was ready to see where this was going.